Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense. Hey, we're on this little excursion together, right? Where we are walking something backwards. So listen, if you are joining today, you really want to go back a couple nights and you want to look at this story in Judges chapter 7 with us on Gideon, right? Otherwise, you might be a little bit lost, right? So I want you to look at this story again with me, right? Last night, I asked you, what's in your hand? Gideon was given torches, trumpets, and jars. Right? And God used that. He encircled the camp with those weapons, great weaponry, right? Circled the camp, and he just simply said, hey, break the jar, blow the trumpet, and they shouted, right? Victory, right? For the Lord, victory for Gideon, right? Just screamed. So now you have this encircled army, right? Who heard all of this. Trumpets, jars, and yelling, right? And their walls came down. God has this great track record of bringing walls down by using whatever he wants to, whatever he gives us. At Jericho was just simply walk and yell. Here it's blow a trumpet, break a jar, yell out, and the walls came down. The army was defeated, right? But what happened before this? Well, right before this, Gideon, it says in verse 19, so Gideon and his 100 men with him, who were with him, came to the outskirts of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, right? And had just set watch, right? So we know that they blew their trumpets and they smashed. But right before this, what happens? In the middle of the night. In the middle of the night is when this battle happened. I was just talking to somebody about night. We tend to be afraid of night. We tend to be scared of night. And yet sometimes God uses the night. God is up 24/7. Sometimes he will use the darkness, the very thing that we fear. Why? Because God wants to bring light. What a great object lesson of God encircling the enemy with light. 300 torches, all of a sudden encircle, light up the night. And God is not afraid of darkness. God is not afraid of the night that you're going through. He's not afraid of all the hard places, right? But God wants to light up the night. He didn't go join Elijah in the dark of the cave. He called Elijah out of the cave, out to the light, right? Out where the light was going to make a difference. God doesn't want you to sit in darkness. He doesn't want you to be overcome by darkness. But God's not afraid to use the darkness, to light up the darkness. Notice, right? That's his whole thing here is I'm going to light up the darkness. So would God allow you to be in dark places? Yeah. Would he call you to dark places? Yes, he did. Not to partake in the darkness, right? But to bring light to the darkness. So listen, there are all kinds of people who are going to have all kinds of thought on that, and they're going to tell me things like, do I go to the bar, right? And yes, what did I say? You go to the bar, that's where darkness is. You just do not partake in the darkness. Do you know what sticks out really well in a dark place is light. So if you go into a bar and you're not doing what everybody else is doing, you're going to stick out. Now, the Bible tells us that the hope is that people are going to see your light, be drawn to the light, come and want to know, why aren't you partaking with us? Now, we know the truth of it. The very first instinct of people is to put out the light. By the way, that happens within churches as well. Right? We've gotten so accustomed to gray areas that we want to put out any light. Look at what people do to people who are excited about Jesus, who are trying to be a light. We try to extinguish that in any way, shape, or form. Now, again, a bunch of people are just going to be up in arms hearing that, but it's true. We immediately attack people. We attack their character. We attack what they're doing, who they're hanging out with, all of these things. Why do we attack them? Because we don't want the light. We like our gray area. We think that God's all about dimmed light. If as long as it's a little sliver of light, then God's okay with us. No, God's not okay. He's got lots of things to say about lukewarm people who are just doing things but not having their heart in it. Right? So again, God doesn't want you to go partake in the dark. So if you can't go somewhere without partaking in it, then you shouldn't go. And that includes church. Right? God wants you to bring the light. That's what Gideon is doing here. He's going to light up the night, light up the enemy, fight a battle. That's what Jesus is doing. Bring the light to the battle. Bring the light to your darkness. If your dark place is your home, bring light to it. If your dark place is your workplace, right, your fun place, if your dark place is wherever it is, bring the light. The light, though, has rules. The light is, we don't walk into a dark place and just start screaming at people that they need Jesus. No, Jesus didn't do that. Hey, you all need me, you bunch of dirty, rotten sinners. No, Jesus brought light, and the people flocked to him. Are people going to do that with you? Maybe. Is it possible that people are going to get mad and upset and angry and try to put you out? Yes. But then they have been warned, they have been told, they have had an opportunity, and guess what? You're just responsible for being obedient. God fights the battle. That's the whole idea here. So you're fighting a battle with cancer, you're fighting financial battles, relational battles, you're fighting battles at work or whatever it is. Just first, foremost, bring the light to the night. Are you doing that? Are you doing that in whatever situation that you're involved in right now? Chew on that. We'll see you again next time. Nightly Nonsense.